Hello everybody. Today we will continue with lecture on axial skeletal system. So anatomy of the sternal bone. Sternum, commonly known as the breastbone, is a flat, elongated bone located in the center of the anterior chest. Sternum is typically divided into three parts. Manubrium is the uppermost portion or part of the sternum. It is wider and thicker than the other parts of the sternum. It provides support to this clavicle, which is also called the collar bone, and also the first two pairs of the ribs. The body of the sternum is the middle portion, this one from here to here, and is longer and narrower than the manubrium sterni. The body of the sternum articulates with the costal cartilages of the ribs, the second to seventh ribs, through their costal attachments are attached to the body of the sternum. Now this small tail-like portion is called the xiphoid process, which is the smallest and the lowest part of the sternum. It is actually cartilaginous portion. In some cases, it ossifies into bone with a progressive age, but in other cases, it can remain cartilaginous in other individuals. The xiphoid process serves as an attachment site for some of the abdominal muscles and diaphragm. This anatomy of the sternum, this outline is the manubrium sterni. This outline is the body of the sternum, the longest portion, and this small tip is the xiphoid process. So three parts of the sternum. Rib anatomy. Ribs are long curved bones that forms a rib cage, or you can say protecting bony structure, which encloses the thoracic cavity and protects the vital organs such as heart and lungs. So ribs are connected to the thoracic vertebrae at the back. These are connected to thoracic vertebrae at the back, and they curve away from the spine and wrap around the lungs and connect anteriorly to the sternum. The first two ribs to the manubrium sterni, and second to seventh to the body of the sternum. So rib cage is basically a bony frame formed by the ribs around the chest. These are the costal cartilages, which are brown in color. You can see in this also, indicated by a red color. These are bars of the hyaline cartilage and is only found at the anterior ends of the ribs. In all together, there is a set of 12 ribs, which are divided further into three categories on the basis of whether they are directly attached or indirectly attached to the costal cartilages, or either they are neither directly or nor indirectly attached to the sternum. So these are divided into true ribs, false ribs, and floating ribs. True ribs are first 7 pairs of the ribs are called true ribs, Uh, these are called true because they are, each of them has a direct and independent costal cartilage. This one is the costal cartilage. They have their, each rib has its own independent costal cartilage. The costal cartilage of the two ribs is relatively long and extends from the ribs to the sternum, providing a direct and continuous connection. False ribs, these are 8th, 9th, and 10th rib, means 3 ribs. These are so named because they do not have a direct or independent attachment to the sternum. Instead, they connect to the sternum indirectly. That is, these pairs, each of these ribs has its own costal cartilage, but they have a common connection to the sternum. That is, the costal cartilages of the 8th, 9th, and 10th ribs fuse together before connecting to the cartilage of the rib above them. This common cartilage then attaches to the sternum. Floating ribs are the only last two ribs, pairs of ribs, 11th and 12th. They are referred to as floating ribs, as these ribs do not have attachment to the sternum, neither directly or indirectly through sharing of the costal cartilages of like the other ribs. Instead, their anterior ends are free and they only attach posteriorly to the thoracic vertebrae and also associated muscles. Thoracic cage. Thoracic cage means the rib cage plus the sternum and then plus the 12 thoracic vertebrae. In all together, this is called thoracic cage.